Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How is everyone this morning? Good morning and welcome to our first ever Quantum Feminine Conference. So good morning. Hope everyone can hear me okay. And I'm so excited to see so many of your faces first thing here on Friday morning. My name is Lisa, and I am your host, the host of Buddhist Biohacker and the host of One Heart, One Earth. And it is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Colorado. And I had such a gift. My husband and I have a very strong connection to Led Zeppelin. And my husband took me to see Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son, last night. And they performed all the great Led Zeppelin songs. And it's very normal for me to receive downloads from Spirit when I'm experiencing live music. And I received the most beautiful download last night in the middle of the performance that just I wanted to share with you this morning to kick it all off. And, you know, in the middle of this incredible theater and this beautiful music is playing. Led Zeppelin is so timeless and it has so many layers to it. And I'm listening to the music and watching all of the lights and the colors. And what landed in me is we came to this planet to create. We came here to create music and art and light and joy and all of the incredible colors and fragments of light and all of these interesting, intricate pieces of our nature. That's what we came here to do. And there are only a few, right, that manifest their full potential, their full creativity. And in our history. And what landed in me last night is it's time for every individual human being on the planet to manifest their full potential. And so as we step into this idea, this malleable, changeable, transformable energy that is quantum femininity, this quantum, this infinite creation is who we are. And I feel that that is what we're doing this weekend together. And we're creating it collectively here on Zoom, which I think is really beautiful and wonderful because we have the ability to come into this sacred container and hold space with each other. And that makes it even more special. And for everyone who watches this replay or recording later, you're part of this container. When you come into this space, it is sacred space. And so we're going to ground in and we're going to do a practice. We're going to talk about quantum femininity. But I'd like to share with you really quick here this quote from Anais Nin. See if I can see it. There we go. I found this quote and I feel there's no better way to define quantum femininity than what Anais Nin wrote, which is, we do not grow absolutely, chronologically. We grow sometimes in one dimension and not in another, unevenly. We grow partially. We are relative. We are mature in one realm and childish in another. The past, present, and future mingle and pull us backward, forward, or fix us in the present. We are made up of layers, cells, and constellations. And to me, this is the essence of quantum femininity. We exist in a time between time and a space between the spaces. We carry with us the star systems that we came from, and we manifest into form God Source itself. This is who we are. And this weekend, we're going to step into this in a full way. And so I'd like us to begin just by grounding in and creating this sacred space together for this entire weekend. So get comfortable wherever you're seated. And as always, having journals handy is always a good thing. So if you want to grab your journals and keep them by your side all through the weekend, I highly recommend it. And just sit comfortably in your chair, roll those shoulders back, opening up the heart center, and close down your eyes. And let's bring our palms together at heart center in prayer. And take a moment here to create your sankalpa, your intention for the next 3 days. What is it that you would like to create for yourself in this sacred space? Open yourself to receive. Ask yourself, what would I like to receive? Open your heart to possibilities and connection. Allow and accept. And whatever else you would like to receive this weekend, just drop those into our collective cauldron, our collective intentions. And you can release your hands and keep your eyes closed. And let's take some deep breaths together, breathing in through the nose and releasing out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And continue to breathe. And with each breath, slow your breath, adding an extra count to each breath, deepening and lengthening the breath. Coming into your sacred space. Together we create a sacred circle. This circle is a safe space for all of us to experience, allow, and transform. In this sacred space, we are a melting pot of timelines, species, star systems, indigenous tribes. We are connected together, interwoven with one another energetically in this space. And it is through the alchemy of our collective consciousness that we will transform over the next 3 days and beyond. And so it is. Bring your awareness down to the palms of your feet. Notice the palms of your feet and imagine, if you will, that you could draw a beautiful pink light line all around your foot. Perhaps you start with your toes, tracing each individual toe, moving along the blade of the foot, around your heel, and the tender inside of the foot. Feel your cellular structure activate within the foot, activating your cells, the DNA itself awakening. And allow this energy to expand. Allow it to expand throughout the entire body. Enliven the body. Yes, enliven the body. Notice the cells expanding, filling with light. Notice your energy centers, your chakras, your meridians. Expansive lines of energy activating. Turn them on. Moving all the way up into the brain, activating each and every cell in the brain. Enliven your brain. Awaken it. Expand it. Bring the energy up and out to the higher self, to the oversoul, to your higher levels of consciousness, and enliven them. Turn them on. Connect with Source itself. Acknowledge that you are Source itself. I am. I am creativity. I am the feminine. I am quantum. Notice your awareness expands to infinite timelines, infinite spaces. Notice how cells connect to other cells, and then to your higher source cells, to the collective consciousness cells. Expand, activate, enliven. Take a nice deep breath in and bring your chin to your chest, feeling the stretch at the back of the neck. And slowly flutter your eyes open. And as you come back to center, you're going to take your palms, take your hands, and we're going to rub them together. Just rub them together, really taking that energy that we have collectively activated and begin to activate it. Feel that warmth inside your hands. Feel the electricity, the activation. And then when you're ready, place your palms up and send this energy to each and every one of us here in this sacred circle. Allow yourself to receive the energy from one another. And at the same time, give energy to the circle. Feel our collective consciousness enliven, awaken. Feel the interconnectedness. His Holiness the Dalai Lama speaks often of interdependence. We cannot exist without one another. And we are better for having one another. We are, in fact, fragments of God's source, having all the experiences that God's source wants to have through us. And we are living what God's source is dreaming. And how powerful is that? We can relax. Now, as we dive into quantum femininity this morning, I would love for you to use the chat box and share your sankalpa, your intention. What are you hoping to accomplish or receive or experience this weekend? I would love to hear it in the chat box, so please feel free to share in there. And welcome in to everyone to the Quantum Feminine Conference. And today I wanted to introduce to you what quantum femininity is and how I was inspired by this idea or this concept. And so when we think of the feminine and the masculine energy is structure and order. Now, the shadow qualities of the masculine energy is control, right? The feminine is chaos. It's natural order. It's flow. And the shadow qualities of the feminine can be that chaotic, out of control anxiousness, the nervous system, right? It activates. That's the wounded feminine. I'm sure we can all relate to nervous system experiences, we'll say. So we have this structure and then we have this chaos. And for the last thousands of years, we've been in the patriarchal energy. We've been in the age of Pisces. We've been in this space of control and structure and order and rules. We've been organizing everything to the microcosm. And suddenly now we're shifting. We're not even opening the door. We're actually through the doorway, stepping into the age of Aquarius, which is the feminine energy. And that feminine energy invites us to allow and accept and go with the flow. Not everything is certain anymore, or it seems it's not anymore. Really, it was never certain, and we'll get to that in a minute. So as we move into the feminine energy, what we're experiencing on the planet right now is control. That masculine energy is ramping up. And it's ramping up because it can feel that there's a change coming in which that's going to let go. That's all that's happening. And when you can step back and see it from that point of view, it's really beautiful because it's inviting us to look at how we want to control things. And why? Why are we trying to control our outcomes? Why are we doing this? We think that structure equals certainty. Right? Well, if I plan everything, I have 4 kids, right? If I plan my whole day and I know when the soccer games are and I know where I'm supposed to be and I've packed the snacks and I've done all these things, we think that the day will go smoothly. Inevitably, it does not. But when I have a 9-year-old who really has to go to the bathroom and there's no way to make it happen, and I have to pull over unexpectedly, I run into a friend I haven't seen in years at the gas station. That natural order is the divine feminine stepping in, saying it doesn't matter if everything's controlled, because in the uncertainty, the natural flow, the synchronicity of source itself manifests. When we think of the virus, the coronavirus, whatever we believe or think or feel, it is a living, breathing organism. It contains within it the masculine and the feminine, right? And the feminine energy is going to change and shift and transform and mutate. And as a human race, we are using that masculine energy trying to control a natural manifestation, right? Because we think it will make things certain. We think there won't be death or there won't be a negative health experience, right? But the lesson is that no matter how much we control or structure, nothing is certain. And we're seeing that out in the narrative right now, right? We're seeing this is manifesting, it's happening. Where even with our options of controlling the virus, we can't control it because it's doing what it wants, because it's the divine feminine. And we are being invited, we are being asked to trust in Mother Earth, in Gaia. We're being asked to trust in the divine feminine to take us on the journey that we signed up for. And so the question you want to ask yourself right now, this is a great question to put in your journal and think of later. How much of our chaos, our creativity, our divine flow, our freedom, are we willing to sacrifice to control and structure and order in order to feel certain? Now, many who have had a near-death experience or a radical awakening understand that letting go of all the structure and the control actually allows for vitality to flow in. In my experience in 2016, the fear of dying had me clinging. It had me clinging tightly to life. And there was this split second in which I decided there was nothing to fear and it was time to let go. And in that moment of letting go of my life, that is when life really began. And the vitality began to flow in, and everything for me began to change, and I began to heal. And that is what we're being invited to do at this time. And I'm seeing in the chat, repeat the prompt. So the prompt is, how much of our chaos, creativity, and freedom are we willing to sacrifice to control, structure, and order in order for things to feel certain? Because they're never certain, right? That's the lesson we're here learning right now. Nothing's certain. I love that, Jason. Zero. Yes, you're so right, Jason. Zero. So let's talk about this in relation to love. So many of you looking for love, always looking for love, or even loving yourself, right? There are so many single people in the world, and the reason being is because they're trying to control. They want certainty. Love is opening to the creativity. It's opening to the chaos. Love is just being in that space. And I had a direct experience with this last night, because we drove into the city, which is very stressful for me right now. Created a lot of anxiety. I felt very restricted going into the city center because the energy is so intense there at this time. That was the control, right? I didn't feel comfortable, so I was tightening. I was pulling myself inward. I wasn't being open. And then we walked into this theater and went through this experience that just expanded my heart, brought me back to my center, into that space of love. And then we were all connected. The hundreds of us that were there were just connected with each other. We just flowed with each other. We were dancing with each other. We were laughing with each other. We were sharing memories with each other. That was opening to love. And I felt completely different leaving than when I arrived. And it's such a great teaching. Every moment of our life is such a great teaching, because even last night I was aware, yes, this is a teaching. This is showing me how constricted I was allowing external forces to make me feel. We as human beings are afraid of the chaos and the disorder and the lack of structure. And love is the antidote to that fear. Love opens you. Because as human beings, we are a chaos. We are natural, organic beings. So when we think of quantum femininity, I'm reminded of this incredible quote by Osho. And many of the things I'm sharing this morning are things that have come up over the last few months in preparation for this conference, and really just bringing them together for you today. But Osho said, how do we know that God is a he? God is neither a he or a she. God is the totality of consciousness in existence. God is the unmanifest source of life. You cannot call him he, and you cannot call him she. God is a presence. And really, there is no God, there is only godliness. And godliness is a quality that pervades and permeates the whole of existence. It's in every leaf and every dewdrop. It is a quality. So during this time and during this weekend, we are invited to go into uncontrol. How does that make you guys feel? Go into uncontrol. Go into chaos. And it will feel a little bit like a death, because your mind is going to say, oh, I need to keep control. Instead, abandon yourself. Abandon yourself to the timeless experience of life, into consciousness. Open yourself and allow. There's so many messages about acceptance and allowing out there, from oracle cards to great teachers and beings, right? There's all these messages, accept and allow, but what does that really mean? You know, what does it really mean to just accept and allow. And I can share from my own direct experience that my nervous system has been my journey. And I remember one of my teachers calling me a child of fear because I was so anxious all the time. I still experience that. That hasn't changed. But what has happened is my anxiety or my nervousness or my type A or whatever you want to call it has become my greatest teacher, because in that moment, when I feel the panic begin to rise or the stress or the level of intensity, if I'm aware enough in that moment, I can stop it. And I practice breathing and allowing and accepting. It's very easy to spin out. We all do it. But it's becoming aware in the spinning. And we can see that our whole world is spinning out right now. And will continue to for the next few years. And being able to ground into yourself, to open your heart, and to be in that space of uncontrol, you will be able to be a support for all of those around you. And when you catch yourself spinning, the best thing you could do is laugh about it. That's what I do. I just go, oh my goodness, here I go again. Here's my stress. I told a story to a couple of my friends this week. We flew to Maui, and flying does not feel natural to me. So it's tough on my nervous system. Don't like those turbulent bumps. And our landing in Maui, the trade winds were really high. And so the flight was incredibly turbulent landing. So it was bouncing all around, and I was tightened up and grabbing. And here I've had 2 near-death experiences in my life, right? I know what happens. I talk to dead people, and I'm like sitting there telling myself this. I know if I die, I'm okay. But I'm still stressed out, right? We're still human. And I look over, and my little girls are absolutely laughing and giggling, and every bounce, they're just giggling this utter joy out of them because they were having so much fun bouncing on the plane. And it was just an incredible teaching from Spirit in that moment, because I saw them and they made me laugh. And before we knew it, we had landed and it was fine. And I thought, wow, like that is perspective, right? And that's the microcosm of the macrocosm right now that we're all feeling in our planet, right? We can either be holding on, telling ourselves we're going to be able to get through it, or we can just go along for the ride and enjoy it and laugh. So it's a great teaching from my little girls about the divine feminine, right? Because they were absolutely in that space of the divine feminine. I'm seeing some of these intentions. I'm just going to look at our chat box here. So let's see. Oh, I hope we got the sound issues figured out. Denise, hello. She says, my intention is to cultivate the peace within. Maddie, my intention is to become more open to new ways of thinking and live from a place of flow rather than doing. I love that. And I can type the prompt in here in a little bit if you guys need to. Let's see. Michelle says, continue to deepen into peace and the art of receiving. Yes, I love that. And yes, our control issues are our greatest teacher. Absolutely, Michelle. Oh. So we're going to spend the next 3 days together, and it's going to be really fabulous. And we have such a great lineup of teachers today. And so what I'd like to do is just briefly go through the schedule and share some announcements with you all. I will be sharing the replay links to all of you who have registered this weekend. And then all of the replays will be placed into the Ajatakasa platform. And if you're not familiar with Ajatakasa, it is a social platform. It's for members only, and it's really incredible. We have hundreds of videos, meditations, activations, teachings, courses, personal and spiritual development in there. So it's really a resource. It has all of the One Heart, One Earth summits in it, and just so much is in there. But it's also a really beautiful community. So it's only $9.99 a month. So you're welcome to join in there. And we'll continue discussions in there throughout the day. This will be the link for your entire conference. So save the link and you'll be able to enter and exit this conference as you're able. And then you'll receive emails with replays as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the schedule, if I can pull it up here. I have, my slides are a little, challenging to pull up on here today for some reason, but here we go. Okay. So, so here is today's schedule, just to share with all of you. It's going to be a really incredible day. So our next speaker is Ariane Thomas. She is going to be talking about changing our genes for ourselves and our future generation. And if you've not met Ariane, she is an incredible shaman and teacher and woman. And she's been part of a few of our summits in the past and just really transformative. So I hope you're going to be able to participate in that today. And then at noon today, we will be with Prima Lee, and she's going to be talking about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which is going to be really wonderful. She's the author of the Sacred Wealth Code. At 1 p.m. Mountain Time, again, all these times are Mountain Time. We're going to be with Cheryl Watson. Cheryl Watson channels Metatron, and she is an incredible colleague of mine and just really beautiful woman. And she is going to be talking about learning to trust your knowing and being a force for love at 1 p.m. Then we have a little hour break, which is kind of nice. And then at 3 p.m., Megan Riley, another colleague and friend of mine, is going to come on and talk about creativity, sexuality, and healing abilities. She's an incredible psychic and empath. And then at 4 p.m., our lovely and talented, and we're so blessed to have her, Mary Lydia Ryan, is going to be sharing a really special experience with her spa opera called Blue Pearl. And this is going to be a music experience, a sound experience. So you want to be prepared for that, and we'll share some information as the day goes on. And then we're going to end the day with some Q&A. And this is what's really important and cool about this particular conference is I really want to interact with you, and so do the other facilitators. So we're going to be joining you at the end of every day, so you can ask us questions and share your experiences and really be a part of this with us, rather than it being YouTube Live is great too, but it's not as connected as a Zoom where we can see each other's faces and connect in this way. So I really love that. And so that is that. And then let me see if there's anything else I want to share this morning, but I think at this time, we're going to close and just take a little break. And again, this is going to stay open. So if you want to stay in the Zoom, I have a fabulous Divine Feminine, Quantum Feminine playlist for us during the breaks. And we're going to be back at 11 a.m. with Ariane Thomas. So we've got about 20 minutes. You can go get your tea or use the bathroom or whatever you need to do. And we're going to just dive in. And I love all of you. I'm so excited for today. I'm so excited for this weekend. It's just getting started. So let's get that plump, juicy, pink cherry energy all inside of ourselves. You can even see behind me, these are goddess paintings I did during the One Heart, One Earth summits last year, and they've just stayed with me this whole time. And so, that's the energy we're bringing into this space for sure. All of the divine Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and all of those things. So I love all of you so much, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes. So enjoy the break.